Welcome back to Naruto Shippuden anime review. Well, yeah, review. This is part 4. This one's discussing the 12 Guardian Ninja arc. Now, fun little factor about this arc. This is mostly anime original, except for the first 2 episodes and the last little bit of the final episode of this arc. Yeah, believe it or not, the first 2 episodes are in fact canon. Yep. The canon stuff basically is quite interesting, to say the least. Like, for instance, now Naruto is going to start training for Noah's new jutsu. Yep. What jutsu basically is he trying to learn? Well, he's trying to create. Now, basically, according to Kakashi, his plan is to create his own particular personal jutsu. Because, according to him, the Rasengan, the one he uses, is incomplete jutsu. So he wants to create a little bigger one. So, what does he do? Well, first we have Naruto basically training with, well, Yamato. And the thing is, Yamato basically is standing still. Now, pretty much the first task is to basically split the leaf. Okay, so, first thing I do is I check and see what his nature chakra is. It's wind. And then basically, while during the whole training thing, Gorsa Chakra asks Kakashi, like, is there anybody you know of, basically, here in the village who knows how to use wind chakra? And he's like, yeah, I know one. He's probably playing shogi with Shikamaru. And he's like, okay. He runs over to see Ashima and Shikamaru. And of course, Ashima is quite happy to hear that Naruto's got the same chakra type he does, wind. And so he uses the chakra blades to basically try to help get some tips to help improve his wind chakra. In exchange, he has to buy Choji lunch at barbecue. Yep, which pretty much cleans him out a lot of the time. So, after training for a while, he's like, okay, come back any time. Like, okay. And then Shikamaru's like, you realize though it was a shadow clone? Yeah, it's kind of revealed at these first couple episodes. The shadow clones, of course, Naruto never noticed this at all, that they can retain memories. Yep. So what they do is have Kakashi and Naruto make shadow clones, have the shadow clones go off in the distance, and have the real ones not know what's going on. So Shadow Kakashi and Shadow Naruto play rock, paper, scissors. And Naruto's like, okay, why don't we make the race of stakes? The winner gets to buy Ika Ramen lunch. He's like, okay. And Naruto wins, so means Kakashi gets to buy it. And then, of course, they release the jutsu. And Naruto's like, wow, we play rock, paper, scissors. And you're buying me lunch. He's like, why the heck did Michael Oka agree to that? I thought it was so funny. So, normally they say this would take like a week, but they don't have much time because the Katsuki's on the move. So, then he uses thanks to training he got from Ashima, he's able to split the leaf really easily. And before he get a chance to start the next part of the training is suspended because he's basically given a mission. Yeah, Team Kakashi, Yamato, Sai, and Sakura are off to protect some tombs, a D-rank mission. Naruto doesn't like it very much because it interrupts his training, but he has no choice in the matter. He also figures out that Ashima is in fact Konohamaru's uncle. Yep, that means, yeah, he's the son of the third Hokage. Something Naruto never knew before. Which, that's amazing. And of course, that comes to play, actually, in a minor role later on in this arc. Though I kind of felt as though this arc, like, toward the end, it felt very rushed. Yes, it felt very rushed. I'll get to that. So, they go up to the fire temple, and they reveal that, well, that these 4 tombs represent one basically, like, Lord. Each one referred to as Lord, I think is basically high respect. Even though one clearly looks like a woman. I have no idea why in the world that they refer to this woman as a Lord, but they do. These 4 people just ransacked her tomb. Yeah, this is what I kind of felt as though that this arc felt a little bit rushed. Oh god, yes. Okay, now the reasoning for raiding the tomb is not actually explained till later. Now, apparently, according to a flashback, there were 12 Guardian Ninja. Basically, the way these people acted is that they're pretty much the bodyguards of the daimyo. Okay, fine. Ashima apparently Well, was power 10 years power when he was like 20, which means now he's 30. He clearly doesn't look 30. He looks like he's in his mid 30s, I'd say. Well, he looks good for his age. Though he looks like he's putting a little bit of weight in the gut, but it's not really bothering a lot of people. Yeah, and also explains his apron that he wears. Yes, there's an apron he wears around his waist. Yes, that confirms he was part of the 12 Guardian Ninja. Now, apparently, now here's the strange thing about the Guardian Ninja. They've revealed pretty much 7 of the names. Yes, 7. The 4 who died, the one in charge of the Fire Temple, and Ashima. They revealed those 6, and the leader of the other faction. Now, this is what kind of felt as though this thing was rushed. Okay. Now, this group didn't like the fact that there apparently was 2 kings, as it were. Basically, the Daimyo and the Hokage. And the 12 Guardian Ninja basically split. And apparently, the other faction was supposedly killed. Now, it's kind of confirmed supposedly the leader of the faction. We don't know who he was until toward the last little bit of the episode. Or it turns out it was actually the father of one of the new characters in this arc, named Sora. Yep. It was him. So, of course, Naruto meets Sora when he's investigating a tomb. He has every right to do this because that's his job to protect these tombs. So, oh yeah, and by the way, here's the thing. All 4 tombs are raided, and the mission is deemed a failure, despite the fact normally Naruto be punished for failing the mission, but this time, no, because they need him. So, they chase the 4 coffins to a big area. So everybody gets to this area along with the head of the fire temple, which I'm like, really? Why would the head of the fire temple be following them? I get Sora, fine, guess he's part of the temple, but why? Okay, now in the case of the fire temple guy, Chotaro, I think his name is, there's a kind of a minor reason why, because these are his dead friends that basically they raided the tomb. Of course, Sai points out, though, what if this was Sasuke who died and his tomb was raided? Naruto Sakura felt the same way. So, okay, fine. So, they ended up basically on the field trying to chase them, of course, and it turns out that was actually a trap. Where it traps basically Team Kashi along with Chotaro. Chotaro basically is actually not, he's briefly taken, then he's somehow found later. Yeah, it's almost kind of like that they never offer anything for him to do in this portion of the arc. So everybody gets separated. Sai ends up fighting the person causing the jutsu. Yamato fights the person basically who used Earth Style Jutsu like he does. Now, who does Sakura fight? As far as I can tell, well, she doesn't fight anybody. Nope, she doesn't. Yeah, she does. Yeah, as far as I can tell, she doesn't fight anybody in this arc, which I'm thinking, that's weird. Well, actually, she does fight the person causing that jutsu later on in this arc, but this portion, no, she doesn't do anything. And of course, Naruto ends up fighting a smoking hot woman. And basically, yeah, this is so hilarious. Yep. So, apparently because he uses Wind Style Chakra. This, I thought, was so hilarious. Okay, so which way you like it? You want French or you want normal style? And he's like, are you talking about food? And she's like, no, kissing. And he's like, you want to make out with me? And of course, his eyes do this sway white thing and his nose are bleeding. And then of course he does a shackle thing, though she's up kissing him anyways. And then he's like, soft lips. Yep. And eventually she ends up kissing the actual one. But she has to break the kiss because of the nine-tailed chakra. Also, the thing about Sora is he has wind chakra, just like Naruto. Also, he's apparently ostracized by his own temple. Now, the reason for this because apparently he was actually he unintentionally caused a calamity about several years prior, which he had no control over. And then apparently it's like, oh, everybody doesn't like him for it. What the heck it was, what caused him to do that. Believe it or not, that's actually not explained to the very end of this arc of what the heck what power he has. Oh, and what power does he have? The nine-tailed fox's chakra. Now you're probably thinking, how the heck did he get that inside of him? The answer is never actually explained. Yeah, how they got the chakra, that's explained. Apparently, during the Nine-Tailed Fox attack, that apparently he left some of his chakra behind. I'm like, what? Why the heck would he leave? Why would he exercise chakra for? Yeah, this made no freaking sense at all. Even if we watch it now, even back then, 3 years ago, this made absolutely no sense of an explanation. Like, okay, apparently Kudo, the guy who's Sora's father, apparently he managed to gather this chakra? How? How the heck did he manage to gather this chakra? That's one of those many things about this arc that's never explained. Also, Sai is injured partway through this arc, and then Sora has taken his place. Okay, fine. So, they take Sora back to the village, and then, of course, he gets to, like, a shouting match with Akamari, and ends up fighting not only Akamari, but Kiba, Choji. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Rock Lee apparently somehow overhears, has just happened to participate in the fight. Ino and Shikamaru in this arc, of course, they're fine because Ashima's there. It's surprising, though, that Rock Lee and Kiba are here. Of course, they don't play big a role here at all. I mean, it's more like Team 10 plays a role in this arc than Kiba and Rock Lee. I mean, it's great to see these guys, but in the case of Rock Lee, this is his first appearance in this anime since the Kazekage Rescue arc. For Kiba, this is the first time anybody's seen him since the start of the previous arc in the series. Which I'm like, really? It took that long for him to make a return? It took him over 20 episodes? It took him like 30 episodes in to finally make his return? Okay. In the case of Shikamaru, well, prior to this, I think he was seen at the start of the previous arc of the series. And then this one, oh yeah, and also I forgot to mention, at the start of this arc, this one I thought was so interesting. Okay, before the whole mission with Sora, that basically Team Kashi takes Team Ashima out to lunch. And of course Ino thinks Sai is very handsome. And of course she wants next to Sai, which she does. And then he refers to Choji as fatso, which is like, no, that's a forbidden word. And then he just looks at Ino and is like, okay, think the opposite. And then he says, hello, beautiful. She's like, and of course Sakura's like, you call her beautiful? I thought that was so funny. Of course, that happened in the opening episode. And yes, that is actually canon. Yes. Because that's the thing with this, like, the first 2 episodes are canon, and the last, 2 minutes of the final episode is canon. But the rest, all anime original stuff. Also, apparently, this team had been ransacking villages. Okay, they kind of explained that apparently they massacred these villages to build up some reanimation jutsu. Okay, that's another thing they apparently never explained. Where the heck they get this thing? Because last time I checked, this jutsu was invented by the second Hokage. And it was a forbidden jutsu. The last time it was seen in the actual franchise part of this was back when Orochimaru used it to revive the first 2 Hokage. Yeah, but at least this one didn't require using actual live bodies this time. Nope, this required using dirt. Okay, that I thought was kind of weird. Also, I forgot to mention this when I did my Konoha Crush. Yeah, apparently the last 2 of the Sound Ninja who participated in the tuning exam, apparently those 2 who actually were not killed by Gaara, yeah, they were used as offerings to revive the first 2 Hokage. Why the heck that Kishimoto decided to do this for? My guess is because he had nothing else for these 2 characters to do, so kill them off. Yeah. And so, and then of course they erect these 4 gates. What the heck these gates mean? Do they ever explore this side of these gates? Nope. As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody even goes near these damn things. Because these things pop up at the outside of the village. Yeah, this thing pops up right after Sora attacks Tsunade. Of course, Naruto basically wisely enough detects the rage, though he's able to basically go to her office, not to jump in the window. Nope. He goes to he climbs a bunch of stairs and he tackles Tsunade. And Tsunade herself, as far as I can tell, is not mad at Naruto for doing this. Normally a woman basically would be mad, but even she understands Naruto just saved her life. And then this I thought was kind of funny, where Sakura's looking for Tsunade, and then of course Sakura basically runs into Tsunade's chest, making her like the second character in the series to kind of unintentionally end up on her chest. I mean, the first person to do this was Konohamaru, though he actually enjoyed it. Sakura's like, oh, and of course Tsunade was kind of blushing at it, but I think in the case of Konohamaru, I think he liked it because he's a pervert. I like the fact Konohamaru actually played a sort of a small role in this arc, which that's quite something because it seems like prior to this, like if you look at it like in the first arc, you see the beginning, and then he pops up briefly after that in the first arc, and that's it. The second arc, he doesn't do much of anything. This one, he actually just plays a small role. Basically, he's told by Ibaru to evacuate the women and children, which they do pretty well. They accomplish that. And they run Ashima to see if they can actually help. Even though at the beginning they can still help. Okay, then he gives them assignments. Find any Chunin or Jonin and tell them to meet me at the power plant because power went out. And who they run into? Sakura and Yamato. Where do they run these two? Never shown because they just happen to be running into them. Oh yeah, and the 4 people who were graves robbed, yeah, they were revived. To get this, the reasoning for it was to use their jutsu, a special lightning jutsu, which apparently if they're put like in 4 special corners, they can pretty much incinerate an entire city. I'm like, okay, why the heck would you have these 4 people like do this? Wouldn't this a jutsu like this be declared forbidden? Because, well, there would be a jutsu later on, which this particular one jutsu done by one person need be forbidden because it destroyed an actual city. I would think this one would, but nope, it's actually not forbidden jutsu. The first 3 managed to get to their locations no problem. The 4th one, well, he stopped by Ashima even after he actually briefly fought him, and he got trapped and Ashima got freed. And then, of course, Ashima ended up where... So basically, the leader was like, okay, well, my plan failed, so... okay, backup plan. Unleash what's inside Sora. And then he turns to a version of the Nine-Tailed Fox, which I'm like, okay. Oh, in case you want to happen to those other particular ninja, Sakura takes out the one who created the bear around the village. Yamato takes out his opponent from the previous fight. And Naruto figures out, oh yeah, you switch bodies, the reason why you use multiple chakra. And she still wants to kiss him, despite the fact I don't know, it seems like she forgot the fact that, oh yeah, this guy has a Nine-Tailed Fox chakra inside of him. Oh yeah, by the way, when Sakura saw him when he found him kissing this woman, she's like, Naruto, that's not the time for this. She's like basically doing this, and Sai's like, no, wait, something's not right here. And yeah, he's right, because this is actually a forced kiss. Because if Naruto was willing to do this, he would close his eyes. Like he would do when he made it with Hinata in the film The Last. Because that was something, it was a willing kiss. This was a forced kiss. So you can kind of count, oh yeah, and also I forgot to mention this. This woman is technically the first person in the anime to lick him on the face. Just by sheer coincidence. That's also the same cheek that Anko licked in the manga. Yes, the same exact one. Because she really wants to try him so badly. And then, by the way, he eliminates her. Like, at first eliminates her body, and then, of course, eliminates her hair by using Rasengan. And he just leaves the hair lie on the ground. Does it do anything with it? Nope, it's completely forgotten about. If I were Naruto, like, okay, this person's dead. I don't think anybody would bother with it, so I'm going to take this hair and put it in the bottle and put it in my collection of basically trophies I got. Yeah, that's something if I would do if I was Naruto in this situation. Like, okay, I will put this like in a bag and then find a bottle to basically contain it as a trophy. Because, this woman's chakra bit. This woman basically has got interesting hair. Like, because I wouldn't be surprised if he kept the flying umbrella he got back in the Ninja Dropout arc. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he kept that. Because it'd be interesting if he actually kept some trophies from his battles. Because as far as I know, he's never actually done that before. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird about Naruto. He's one of those characters who doesn't keep any trophies. Kind of like I know Batman has tendency to do this after his battles, but Naruto, no, he doesn't. I would think that might be an interesting idea for him to do, like maybe collect some object. Basically, was important to like someone he fought who's no longer alive. But no, he never had interest in doing that, which I thought that's kind of weird. But okay, yeah. By the way, the leader of the action group, well, he gets away and he's never seen again. I think it's implied he was killed by Ashima, but yeah, he's vaguely explained. Also, they never properly explain, like, okay, apparently Ashima sliced at him, apparently people declare him dead, like, oh yeah, he's actually alive, like, what? Okay. Despite being the first anime original arc of Naruto Shippuden, it's an interesting arc, despite the fact this arc feels very rushed. Yeah, for me, 18 episodes, it feels very rushed. Because when you finish watching this arc, like, okay, there's a lot of stuff now explained. Okay, first of which, how did the leader of these evil group manage to, like, capture and contain the Nine-Tailed Fox chakra? To, why the heck would the Nine-Tails even be exerting chakra like this? 3, how did this guy put it in his own son's body? Yeah, that was never explained. Let's see. 4, where the heck did the guy even find these 3 ninja? Yeah, that's never explained. 5, okay. What was up with him? It's like they kept changing him. Like, he's probably the one character that apparently Parrot just kept changing their mind about this character. Like, oh, he just leaded the bad guys who also just had been no friend of Sora's father. And then it's like, oh yeah, this guy is Sora's father. I'm like, what? Also, and I thought this was really, really dumb. Choto clearly saw this guy. And he had no reaction. He didn't say anything to him at all. Yeah, while I was watching, like, what? You knew him when he was part of the 12 Guardian Ninja, and yet you have no reaction to him? Yeah, as far as I can tell, there's like no explained reason for that at all. Yeah. Because I would figure, though, he would in fact do that. But nope. He apparently had no reaction to seeing him. By the way, in case you're wondering about Chodoro, the guy who lead the Fire Temple, and the Fire Temple itself, that technically is canon. Yeah, those two things are canon. Everything else associated with this arc is original stuff. In the case of the 12 Guardian Ninja, that I think is canon, though it's this anime arc pretty much just expanded upon what was hinted at in the manga. It's still a good arc, except that if I felt as though that they should have added a few more episodes to this. Even though, yes, this arc did pretty much air like 12 years ago. But they should have basically expanded upon some stuff. Maybe offered some explanation. Because it seems as though for the first half of the arc, it goes really good. Until when they get to the attack on the Hidden Leaf Village. Then stuff gets so rushed. Oh my gosh. It's like, okay. So, yeah. By what happens to Sora? Does he die? No. He's offered to save the village. But he declines. He ends up becoming a wandering ninja. Does not go back to the Fire Temple. Nope. Becomes a wandering ninja. Also got bandage on his face. I'm like, okay. If he's a wandering ninja, okay. Then is someone going to hire him? To do whatever? It's possible. Yeah, and also Naruto briefly turns back into, well, going in his Tailbeast cloak form. First time he'd done it since the previous arc. Which, by the way, he does do it again after this. I mean, does he do it in the next arc? Nope. He actually does do this again to the Pain arc of the series. Yeah, he does do it all. Yeah, unlike basically the way it was in the original Naruto series, when people told other people that he was the host of Nine-Tailed Fox, they were shocked about it. When Sora found out himself, he actually is like, no, you're not. Yeah, he actually denied it. He wasn't. It wasn't shock. It was basically open denial. Sora was probably by far, if you look at all the character series, the most confusing character. Because the guy kept changing motivation, like, oh yeah, I'm going to run this village. I'm like, what? And then he forgets about it later. It's like, we had to keep changing writers once he got to the Hidden Leaf Village. Yeah. But not much to say about this arc. It's good, but the last part was rushed. I kind of felt this arc should have been a little bit longer than 18 episodes. If I were in charge of this, I would probably have it be a little bit longer. I would say you can easily squeeze this out to about 6, maybe 7 more episodes. But no, we probably have to get to the Katsuki Suppress mission. But with the last bit of canon stuff was Hidan and Hizu chasing the host of the Two-Tailed Cat, who just happens to be from the Hidden Cloud Village. Yep. Myself was like, damn, this one was hot. No denying that. And she's also one of like 2 of Jirajiki. Actually, one of 3 I can think of who's actually a blonde. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? She, the former host of the Three-Tailed Turtle, he's also a blonde, along with Naruto. So that makes 3 blondes. As for in the case of female ones, she's one of 2. The other, of course, being the host of the Lucky 7. Yeah, but she does make an actual appearance in the anime. I mean, she makes her first. I mean, you could say this first Akira's canon appearance actually in season 19 when they show her alive. But later on, they show her on a reanimation jutsu. Yeah. But in the case of this host, Two-Tailed Cat, she's by far the first one introduced. Well, she's the third one introduced in the whole franchise at this point. Because they introduced a few of them lately. The one thing interesting, though, about the host of Ten-Tailed of all the beasts, they actually kind of explain all their backstories. But not Zoro. God forbid we do that, okay? So yeah, that's it for this particular review. I have 2 more reviews I'm going to do, and that's probably going to be it for today. Though I may get a chance to start another anime. Oh, by the way, the anime I'm going to start next, because I just finished up Seraph the End. I'll go to the OVA probably later. But next anime I'm going to do is Monster Musume. And you all are probably like, really? That weird series? Okay. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on this weird series. Yeah, it's weird. Okay? But next 2 videos are comment corners. Okay? To the next video. Bye!